Microtech Day. Microtech LUDT. Believe Generation 2, the one that's been out until the new one. I've had this about a month, bought it brand new. I wanted to make sure that I could get one of these more original designs before they become even harder to come by because they are discontinued. And they have the new generation, which I will eventually pick one of those up for sure. I would imagine within this year. I just wanted to make sure I got one of these before they were impossible to find. Very thankful to find it. Of course, colors are limited, but I do like the red. Look at it, and it still has these older ones have the proprietary Microtech hardware, which they have changed up, it appears, for the new ones. So these aren't Torx, these are, I don't know, what do you call it, triangle, reverse negative triangle bit you'd have to use, like a triangle socket. Same for the pivot screw. And for the fasteners. So we have an aluminum frame with some cutouts for drainage. February of 23, M390. Is that the focus, maybe? Yep, good. That's just great. There we go. Pretty sweet. I dig it. All right, so the dimensions. We got a blade length of 3.4 inches. I just did that Griptilian video last night. It's pretty dang close. And blade length of 3.4, blade thickness of 1300ths. Man, the sucker just does not want to focus tonight. Sorry about that. Anyhow. Handle thickness 4800ths. Weight of 3.62 ounces. And M390 steel again. So let's take a look here. Got the Griptilian for reference. Pretty similar. Griptilian, same blade length, but the Griptilian actually has just a tad more cutting edge. And let's see if I can get these to stack up here. Maybe kind of get a little bit of a reference on the blade thickness. You know, it's like, I think this is what, 1/8 of an inch. It's just barely over. And they got the crown spine on the blade, which is pretty cool, actually. Not make or break for me. None of the benchmade seem to, but it does have this nice jimping on it. And when I say nice, I mean this is not rough at all. Just adds a little extra traction. Very comfortable. I would say my only critique of this knife, and it could be actually part of its benefit or bonus to the knife, but it's just the size. Like, I gotta squeeze my fingers to get them in there. Like, to get in the fit, I'd have to be, you know, fingertips like that. But, so I mean, it's just, it is small for that, but how often do I actually grip a knife like that? Not very often. Usually it's going to be probably something like this, or choked up like that. And that's what's nice about this is everything is bigger up here by the pivot, by your index finger, than it is down here. It tapers down. So it's got to taper this way, right? But also tapers here. I didn't measure it, but I'm assuming that what was that? 4800ths is this, about a ½ inch here, and it just tapers down slightly, which works. Very comfortable. And everything on these handles is just very smooth, rounded. It's lightweight. To me, it's a smaller blade, because the old standby here, well, backpack just fell, standby, and we back. All right, the 9051. So, a little comparison. That benchmade is quite a bit bigger all the way around. I wish that they made this that size. But the nice thing about this size and weight is it's just easier to carry. And do you really need something that much bigger? Yeah, I think so. But I don't complain about this at all. I'd take this in the same circumstances I would take that. I think that's just a little bit better. As you can see, easily get your hand in there. A lot of this has to do with, you would say, if you put, how can I do this? I gotta mate these bad boys up here to make my point. There we go. So if you line that up there, and you can see, I mean, your hand's gonna have to stop. Your pinky is gonna have to be like right here. So, and not quite as much of a pronounced rise at the end there, ramp. So the benchmade is a little bit more squared off. It's got the safety, which, you know, I'm lukewarm on. Take it or leave it. Leave it. I'd get rid of it. The funny thing here, though, is that this knife design is based on this design. This is the original military automatic design. You can just Google Florida automatic knife or Florida black knife, and this will come up. Oxforge, I think, is the name of the brand, I believe. They came up with a knife that looks pretty much exactly like this, except for it was bigger, quite a bit longer, and then a longer blade, 3 3/4 inch blade. But, I mean, they're a spitting image of each other. I mean, it's a thick handle, too. It was like 3/4 of an inch thick, according to the specs I just looked up. But it's my favorite knife design. So at some point, Benchmade came out with the 9000. I believe it was the 9000. And the 9050. And then now the 9051. But I think originally they produced a knife for Almar, a military knife for Almar, very similar to this one. And then Benchmade just kind of started making their own, under their own brand. And this is what they came up with. So I have a ton of these kind of going back. I think I have the original Benchmade. I do not have the Benchmade Almar, which I'd like to get my hands on. I missed an opportunity to do that a few years back. But I have a few mint, brand new in box. I think it's a 9000. It's a 9000 AFO. Anyway, the big difference is those older ones don't have an adjustable stop pin, and then no pocket clip. And then this one just doesn't have any serrations on it, which is nice. You can still get the 9051, but they're all serrated, half serrated, which is fine. I like that blade as well, but sometimes I kind of like just having a plain one that I could use the whole thing on, you know, because I do a lot of wood carving. And I think back in the bushes, it's kind of what you want. But very fine knife, very comfortable, really good ergos, really good cutting geometry for, slicing into wood and such. And I would figure food. I haven't cut any food with it yet. The M390 steel. So what I've kind of come up with is probably 154 cm is my favorite, but I'm definitely a stainless steel guy. Not that I wouldn't go for something with a little bit more carbon in it, like Crewware. I really like that as well. But I don't like rust. I don't like rust, pitting, really a patina. I kind of prefer a nice, clean, kind of sterile knife, sanitary, I would say. So M390 is nice, though. It does come with, I had to get this coating design. I would have preferred to get like a fully coated blade or uncoated. So kind of like this too. This was my only choice when I got this one. Brand new, secondary market, I guess you'd say, from a retailer. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, I'm happy with it. So I would say, let's check out this action too. It's got the jimping on the blade. I don't think I mentioned. It's just a very comfortable, really slicey knife. It does have that crown spine. Just everything about it. It's just nice. You can't feel it in your pocket. It's just a little smaller than this guy. But if you don't know any better, like me, and you carry these for years without, like me, buck 110 and this, what were one of these? Is what I had for years. But you can kind of see how much more diminutive that Microtech is. But it carries very nice. A little lighter weight. This is 5.8 ounces, I think. And this was what? 3.6. So quite a bit lighter. Smaller all the way around. No safety, which I like. I don't, like I said, I don't really mind it. But if anything, it's just going to be a problem. Really good snap on this. This one, out of all my FOs, probably has like the weakest. And I took this sucker apart. These 9051s are kind of a bitch to get back together with the spring, actually. Until you figure it out. The older ones, the 9050s, are super simple. But this one has this extra little nipple. Makes it a little bit more difficult to get back together. But after you got it once, it's no problem doing it again. Just a little finicky. Taking a little look at it. As far as cutting edges on these, I would imagine that 9051 is, yeah, it's got a good bit more. But anyway, so they came out with Generation 3. Same overall dimensions, I believe. The blade isn't any longer. I don't think the handle's any longer. It appears you get more hand space on the handle, which would be nice. Like I said, though, not a make or break. I just grab it. I just grab the sucker like that. I'd take this anywhere. Backcountry, just like I take these. Same. Just a little bit lighter weight. A little smaller, but you're not going to notice that a whole lot. You just get used to it. There's nothing wrong with small blades as long as it's got hard to use handle, and this is solid. So I've done a fair amount of whittling with it, and this might be a little bit better overall. It's a little thicker. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd always go with this one. I wish that these guys would come out with like an extra large. Then if they're considering this the large, if they come out with an extra large, give me a 3 3/4 or 4-inch blade and a handle that's at least that size. I'd probably have to be a little bit bigger, but anyway, that's all I got. Highly recommended. My favorite. I'll always have. This will always be my primary, but I've always wanted one of these, And I snagged one before they became impossible to find, and I will get the next generation. I'll just have to. But all right, y'all take care.